Dun, 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 dun. I don't know why I keep having to do this. All right, we're waiting for this 5-minute range to set. Bouncing off the pivot point. We got, oh, there's the 5-minute range. So let me mark it out real quick. The bottom. All right. Gonna see what happens here. We get a breakout above the top, the low. Not much movement today. We'll see. Yeah. So not a super big 5-minute range. So we'll kind of play it out. We'll see. If I get a setup, I'll definitely take it. Kind of bouncing off view up here. That bottom of the 5-minute range, a lot of support down there. We got the 200, we got the bottom of that 5-minute range, we got the pivot point, we got the view up. I mean, we're just stacked. I can show you, especially better see it on my other charts, right? So you kind of see, you can kind of see what's going on down here, right? We got that 200 level right there. We got the pivot point, and then we got this purple line that's the view op curling up. So a lot of support down here. So all right. And we'll just wait. In terms of, let me see, news-wise. Existing home sales at 10 a.m. today. Orange folder news. So nothing crazy, but something to kind of keep an eye out on. Pretty much it. Question is, will we get a breakout of the top of the range or the bottom of the range first? Meaning a closure outside. In the meantime, Let me kind of quickly look through the higher time frames, see what's going on. All right, on the hourly chart, we are kind of trying to hold this 200 on the hourly chart. We curved below it. Now we're breaking back above it, trying to hold it as support. So we'll see what happens there. We got some room on the 15-minute chart. That 200 is still down there. So also, you know, not many gaps to kind of fill down there. And there's the 5-minute. We got that pivot point. So we got, a lot of support down there. Trying to push to the top of the range, but seeing a lot of sellers start to step in up here. All these wicks. See if we can push down and get a closure outside this range, and then for buyers to kind of step right back into the range. Bro, I feel like this, my thing's a little laggy. My rhythmic, for some reason. All right, pushing to the bottom of that range, trying to. Trying to break to the top, but all these sellers stepping in here. Bro, it's like, I don't know what the hell is, why is it so, a little behind? Need to try to check why. All right, pushing back down to the bottom of the range. Not really getting momentum to the up or downside. Getting a lot of, there it goes, selling pressure starting to step in. Okay. Seeing if we could get a closure outside this range, but not yet. Still holding this range as support down here. We got a lot of support down here with view up and the pivot point and that 200, so getting some buying pressure stepping in, but if we can close outside and then No, I'm trading NASDAQ. Your computer is slow. There is a delay, not like there's a delay in the stream. It's not exactly the so wow, pushing all the way back up to the upside. Wow. See, are we gonna break outside this range? Pushing to the top of it, but again, sellers are really bouncing up and in and up and down in this range. We're just waiting. We'll see what happens. Waiting for price to break outside. There's nothing to do as long as this price stays inside this range. Nothing to do here. Just getting some sideways chop. Maybe if we could take out those lows one more time. Come on, NASDAQ. Give me something good today. All right, pushing down again. Wow. Come on, NASDAQ. We got to get a closure below. I need a closure below outside this range. I need a 1 minute candle to close outside this range. And then go from there. Gosh, it's not going nowhere. Longer we chop, the harder the break. Yeah, possibly. I mean, you could get that liquidity stacking to the upside and downside. I mean, people trying to take longs, people trying to take shorts, and now it's breaking above to the upside, right? All the longs are getting stopped out. Same thing with all the people trying to short, or I mean long. If it breaks to the downside, all the shorts getting the longs. Golly. All right, here we pushing up. Ugh. All right, here it goes. There's that closure. Give me a second. I'll be back. All right, see what happens here. We kind of took out this high, seeing if we can get a shot back into the range, leaving behind a bearish gap. If that's the case, I'll be interested. I'd be very interested. We got this gap down here that formed out of that push. See if, also, if they can't hold this gap, we're going lower. Oh, I thought it was going to leave a gap. Freaking A. Ah. Dang it. Hold on, give me a second. Still dropping back inside that range. Trying to push out of it now, but there's a big we're getting more volume step in when we go inside this range, so oh man, looking like one of the slow grind kind of days. Might have a better chance at the casino today. Yeah, I'm looking for a confirmation to see if it wants to fill the opposite side of this range. So far, it hasn't given me that confirmation. But if I can get a confirmation, then I would be interested. But as of now, it's not giving me anything. We're just kind of chopping at the top of the range. Every time we kind of push up, we get brought back down into the range. Shows that we could potentially go back down if we can't, you know, hold the top of the range as support. We end up going back down into the range, possibly to the opposite side. And the fact that it can't make a higher low, I mean a lower high, break the high, freaking A, my mind is all. It's making a lower high. It can't break that high, so we're not getting the momentum stepping in. Now that I say that, it's about to break the high. All right, breaking that high. See what happens here. Is this a sweep or is this a displacement? One of the two is going to happen, either a sweep or a displacement. And you can kind of see on a hourly chart, kind of holding this 200 as support. So now, question is it going to hold this top of the range as support? We displaced above. Opinion on TQQ. I really don't have an opinion. I'd have to look at the chart. All right, pushing back down to the top. Oh, okay. Now here's the thing, will it hold that as support? Or will this thing break back inside the range? Trying to hold it as support here. Bull trap? Possibly. Yeah, this is like... Question is, will we hold this as support and then break the high and continue ripping to the upside? Then it's kind of like, alright, we're going up. If this thing kind of drops back down and back down into the range, we could fill the opposite side of that range. So far, it's holding it as support. Oh yeah, news in 2 minutes. That's 1 minute now. It's like, it's not any major news. It's orange folder news, so it's not anything crazy, but We'll see. It may affect the market in some way. We'll see what it does. Maybe we're kind of chopping right now because of that news coming out. Got 15 seconds left till the news. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breaking to the upside. Breaking to the upside, but not getting the momentum to really continue. We're getting these breakouts, but they're not enough momentum to keep going. They're just chopping back down a little bit. It's not really pushing. Which, you know, long-term charts look great for the upside. Yeah, on the higher time frame, it does look great. I mean, we're bouncing off the 200 on the higher time frames, which typically holds as support when we're bouncing off it, above it. But we'll see. It's like price action is not, it doesn't look like it has the momentum like right now to keep going. It's just like we're getting these little breakouts, but then we're getting pullbacks right back down. So unless we just slowly grind to the upside, but we're not getting that momentum. It's going to be kind of a red flag if we start breaking back in the range. If this thing starts breaking back inside this range, could be a red flag to potentially fill the opposite side of the range if it can't hold this as support. What's up with NVIDIA? What's up with NVIDIA? What is it doing? Trying to hold the top of this range as support. Ugh. I don't know, it seems like a lot of selling pressure trying to step in. Well, they get it though. All right, we are. You can kind of see we are above, but kind of got to bounce right when market open. We kind of got to bounce off that 200. So it does have potential to the upside, but it's kind of stalling out here. It's not having the momentum it needs to continue going. Look at that, push right back down. Wow. I'm telling you, this thing is not really. Back down into the range. Kind of a warning. They can't hold this as support. We'll see what happens here. This is a big red flag. A little bit of do not copy me. This is a little bit of a riskier play. We are above VWAP, but if we can get a push up, I would be interested in taking it. But please do not copy me. I said, well, if we get back inside the range, it's not going to be a good sign for the bulls. Right? I said when we break out, we got to hold the top of that range as support. If we can't hold the top of the range as support, we start breaking back inside. That is not a good sign for the bulls. In the short term, right? Anything could happen now, but seeing if I can get a pop up to get filled, but it's not doing it. Come on, don't leave without me. Oh my gosh, don't leave me! No! All right. Pushing back up. No freaking way. Bruh. No freaking way. You've got to be kidding me, bruh. You have got to be freaking kidding me. Oh my. How is it edging me this close, bro? Look at this. Are you kidding? I was debating on putting it right at the entry of that gap. I was debating it. I was like, nah, it's probably gonna pop up to the 50% of that gap. Looks like I should have put my entry right there, right at the entry of that gap. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. How? Explain this to me. Explain this phenomenon. Are you what the flip, dude? I swear, if this just goes without me. Again, please do not copy me, or you will get wrecked. That's wild, bruh. Bottom fishing. I'm just following my strategy, man. Nothing more to it. Nothing more. That's it. That's all I do. Have a strategy and I follow it. Good Lord. Bruh! How did it get this close to filling me and then left without me? You've got to be freaking kidding me. Holy crap. I mean, shit, at this point, I don't think I... I don't know if I want to even be in this anymore. I mean, it's hit my TP where I would have had my TP right there. That would have been my TP area. Once it takes out those lows, invalidated. But man, that would have been my TP area. This is gonna be riskier if I do hold this. If it does pop back up, since it's already hit technically where I would have taken TP, which is right there. That bottom candle wicks. Bro, that would have been the perfect. I was debating on it too. I was like, man, should I put it at the entry of the gap or in the middle of the gap? I'm like, nah, it's probably gonna hit the middle if it hits the entry. Nope, it hit the entry exactly to the T where I was gonna put my entry. And freaking went directly to my TP. Shit. That sucks. Bruh. Now this becomes a little riskier. The trade is for sure invalidated once it breaks this low. Once it takes out this low, that's a for sure invalidation. I'll probably still hold as long as it doesn't break that low. But it does make it more riskier. That sucks, bro. This is the hard part about trading, bro. Now this becomes riskier. I mean, since it's already hit my TP, but technically it hasn't taken out the lows down here, so technically it's still valid as long as it doesn't take out those lows. But it does become riskier. So I'll still hold. I'll still hold potentially for this, but again, it is a riskier move. But I am willing to take the risk. It is what it is. All right, I'm in this. Not going to be too greedy, kind of just going. I would try to chase the short, then it would bounce and go to the The thing about it is it for me, it's technically not invalidated. It would have been invalidated if it would have taken out these lows. Because now the theory is if it takes out these lows, now it can go for the highs. But since it just went for the body candle lows but didn't take out the low lows, for me it's still valid that it could still come down there and take out those lows. That's why it's still, if it would have taken out these lows, 100% I would have not got into this trade, 100%. But like I said, it is riskier because technically it did hit my TP area where initially, like, I would have entered and then that's where my TP was. So it is riskier because it already hit it, but since it hasn't taken out those lows, I'm still willing to take the trade. And it's risk on the table I'm putting down, and I'm willing to take the risk, so. That's the thing about trading. You have to always be willing to take the risk. If you don't, like, if you don't want to take the risk, don't take the trade. That's it. Ain't nothing more to it. Take out those lows, yeah, like sweep them. So that's why technically the trade is still valid for me. Getting some selling pressure, trying to step in. It looks like they want to go for those lows. Looks like it wants to go for those lows. We're getting a lot of selling pressure stepping in here. Trying to bounce off that. Now we do have support down here. We got that view op that we got to kind of break that 200 and break the view op down there in order to get to that TP area. But trying to bounce off that 200. Seeing if we get enough selling pressure to step in to kind of go for those lows again. I mean, I'm not asking for a lot, right? I'm not being greedy. I'm not asking for too much. Just kind of common sense. Fudge. It's not looking good once it gets above this range. It's not looking good. Crap, do not tell me I would have... Oh my gosh. A winning trade turns into a losing trade because I held once it hit my TP. Come on. Oh my God. I actually got in late, not early. What's frustrating is if I would have had my entry in the beginning of that gap, I would have hit TP immediately. So now that it hit TP, now that being said, I was willing to take the trade. So technically it's valid, but like I said, lower probability just because it already hit my TP. So we'll see what happens if it was a good call, or this was a kind of if I should have not went in once it hit my TP. Oh my gosh, come on, don't do this to me, NASDAQ. Please don't do this to me, please. Don't do this to me! For the love of God, don't! What pisses me off the most, if this stops me out, what pisses me off the most is it was a winning trade. That's what pisses me off, that this literally could have been a winning trade, but $10:30, typically a reversal time frame, a reversal time. Sometimes we get a reversal at 10:30, so at least that's in my favor. It's not looking hot. We got to reverse here. We got to drop. Drop it. Dump it. Drop it. Come on. Yes, I'm in a short. Kind of jumped the gun. Didn't get. Technically, the trade already worked out, but I didn't get the fill I wanted, so I ended up getting in once it popped back up after I already technically went to my TP area. Which freaking sucks. I swear, if this trade, a winning trade turns into a losing trade just because that's what sucks the most. The fact that it's a winning trade, technically. I didn't get the entry I wanted, so when it popped back up, after it hit my TP, I entered again. Oh, that sucks. But again, technically it was still valid because it didn't take out those lows. So for me, it was still valid. Even though it looks like I may get stopped out here. Unless this still reverses here. It still has a chance of reversing here, but... Ugh, this sucks. This freaking sucks. Come on. We need a lower high. A lower high. Dump it. Freaking A. You freaking bastards. You bastards. Of course I'm an emotional trader. I got money on the line. Who the hell isn't emotional when they got money on the line? The key to a successful trader is not the emotions part. I don't know where people getting this BS from that in order to be successful, you don't be emotional. You're gonna be emotional. You're not a freaking robot with wires inside of you. The key to being successful is not letting your emotions control your trading. You see that I'm emotional, but guess what you don't see is me moving my stop, me canceling my stop. My stop is there. If it hits my stop, it hits my stop. That's it. I'm not, you know, I have a plan and I'm sticking to the plan regardless of what happens. So you can get emotional all you want in the middle, but it becomes an issue once you start changing up your strategy and moving your stop loss and doing all this BS. That's when it becomes a problem. If it hits my stop, it hits my stop. It freaking sucks because this was a winning trade. That's what hurt. That's what pisses me off the most. This was actually a winning trade. All because I took the wrong entry point. But again, it's still valid. Technically, it's still valid. That's what, like... It was still valid, so I'm not pissed off about taking the trade. I'm pissed off about not taking the initial entry I wanted, which was a little bit in the beginning of the gap, not the middle of the gap. See, that's like, those little tweaks could, like, change up. That was the difference between this possibly be a winning trade and losing trade. All because of, like, an entry point that was a little bit off for me. But again, it's still valid, so we'll see. We need this to go back inside the range. Keep dumping. Let's go back inside the range. Not bounce off it. Do not bounce off the range. I see green in your future. I mean, I am green. I'm not like in drawdown, or I'm not like in super crazy drawdown. I have a pretty good win rate with this strategy. So we'll see what today is. Today going to be a winning day, or is it going to be a losing day? Technically, it was supposed to be a winning day, which that's what pisses me off the most. That's what's going to bother me the most. Not the fact that if it is a losing trade, the fact that it was supposed to be a winning trade. I'll explain the strategy after after this is over. I'm too focused in on this. Come on, we need selling pressure to step in here. No, not buying pressure. Opposite, selling. Am I cooked? Am I cooked? Oh, God. And TikTok making me do stupid puzzles. Come on, man. Verify. Oh, God. Am I cooked? No! No! Drop it! Oh, gosh. That freaking sucks. This freaking blows. This blows. Blows! Oh, you can't see my stop loss? It's up there. It's above the highs. It's right there. Hold on. Where's the pink line is my stop loss. Ugh. Man, this blows. Screw you, NASDAQ. Screw you. That's freaking blows. That was supposed to be a winning trade, too. All right, I'll go over why it was supposed to be a winning trade. Oh, my gosh. Whatever. So I had my entry point in the middle of this gap. As soon as this gap was formed, my entry was the middle of the gap. And I was debating. I was like, should I put my entry at the beginning of the gap or the middle of the gap? I was like, nah, it's probably, let me get a few extra points out of this. I'll put it in the middle of the gap. If I would have had my entry at the beginning of the gap, this would have popped back up. It would have entered me. You see the wick right here? You see this wick right into that beginning of the gap? And then my TP would have been down here. So it would have wicked me into the trade and it went directly to my TP. Technically, I still held even though it went to my TP. I still held because it didn't take out those lows. So I figured it could still come back up, kind of rebalance, take out these highs, and go for those lows. That's why I was still in the trade. Looking back now, yeah, it sucks because this technically should have been a winning trade. That like literally, what, 1-2 point difference? That few points difference was the factor of this being a losing trade or a winning trade. And, right, and didn't take out those lows, so I still held. And it is what it is. I mean, it just, the thing that pisses me off the most is it should have been a winning trade. What a freaking bummer, dude. Oh, man. No accountability? Bro, how is there no accountability? I told you exactly what went wrong. Do I regret taking the trade? I mean, it's technically, I mean, it didn't take out those lows, so it's not like I'm some freaking... I took the trade because I thought it was still valid. Because it didn't take out those lows. Do I regret? I mean, I put risk on the table. It was a losing trade. Here's the difference between me and other people. I didn't blow my account. I lost $300 out of a $2,000 drawdown. I lost 300 bucks per account. So it's not really the end of the world, right? I could still... Wow, now it takes out those highs. Now it's going to go back down. But too much emotions. Okay. Here's the good thing, right? I don't trade based off of my emotions. So my emotions have nothing to do with my trading. That's the difference between people who come in here and aren't profitable. Their emotions dictate their trading. The reason they take a trade is because they get emotional. The reason, like an emotional trader would be, look, I see this thing dropping back down to the downside. An emotional trader would hop into a short again because he got stopped out at the highs, and right, he's gonna hop back into a short here to try to target those lows because he got stopped out. Why am I not entering a short even though it's going back down? Because it's not my strategy to enter up there. So it's the difference between me. I can get emotional all day. I can pick up my microphone, smash it against the wall, but guess what? That won't dictate my trading. My stop loss, my entry points are always going to be where they are based on my strategy, based on data and statistics. Doesn't matter what. So, does it suck that this technically is I am happy that like the strategy worked. That technically it was a winning trade. I just shouldn't have, once it hit my TP area, I should have canceled my limit order once it hit my TP. Don't ever use stop loss. Yeah, that's one way to completely never succeed in trading. That's all you can do in trading. Stick to your freaking plan. Doesn't matter if you get stopped out, you take profit. I mean, it freaking... the only thing that... Look, listen. The loss does not bother me. Right? The loss doesn't bother me. What freaking bothers me is it should have been a winning trade. That's what bothers me. My entry point, the fact that it was in the middle of the gap instead of in the beginning of that gap, was the major difference factor of this being a winning trade or a losing trade. And if once it hit my TP, I technically should have canceled, but hindsight, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I did still hold it, leave my limit order on just because it didn't take out those lows, but now if I do this over and over, like if this happens again to where this same scenario happens again, guess what? I'm gonna cancel my limit order once it hits my TP area. So I am gonna journal this, exactly what happened today. I'm gonna journal it, so in case it happens again, I'm gonna stop doing this. But technically, it was still valid. That's what I'm saying. It was good. Why was your stop loss so high? I mean, it wasn't really high. It was above the highs. TP was at these lows. I use my stop loss based off of market structure. I don't use my stop loss based off of, oh, I only want to risk 100 bucks. My stop loss goes where the points of invalidation are. So invalidation is above these highs up here. Right? I was targeting these lows. I bought, right? I bought in the middle of this range. Stop loss above the highs. Target at these lows. So it is what it is. Yeah, you move on. You move on, and anytime you take a risk, you're putting risk on the table. I accepted that this trade could have been a losing trade, or else I wouldn't have took the trade. Anytime I take the trade, I'm understanding that I'm putting risk on the table. Anytime that trade could be a losing trade. You never know. It's called statistics. Even with an 80% win rate, you have losing trades. That's just the statistics of trading. Sorry to tell you that, but there's no such thing as a 100% win rate. So you're going to take losing trades. Yeah, because everyone's a hindsight trader. Everyone's a professional in hindsight, right? Like, bro, that wasn't obvious. Like, everyone's a professional hindsight trader, but no one actually knows how to trade real time. Like, I literally, the difference between me and other traders are, I actually stick to my rules and my data and my plan. That's it. Right? You don't see me jumping back into the... I literally got stopped out at the highs right now. You could see what's happening right now. I got stopped out at the very high, and it's dumping all the way back down. But guess what? You don't see me jumping back into a short. It literally stopped me out at the highs, and now it's going back down. So... the difference between me and other traders is I followed my plan, actually. My emotions can kick in, but I'm disciplined enough to not let my emotions dictate my trading. I'm very data driven. That's it. That's all trading is. You data driven and you follow your plan. And if you take a loss, try to improve on that loss. What could you have done wrong? What could I have done wrong? What could I have done differently on this trade? Looking in hindsight, obviously. Once it hit my original TP that I was going for, once it hit that TP, I should have canceled that entry order, that limit order to get into that short. Looking back now, is probably what I'll do from here on out. Now that this happened, this scenario happened, now I learned from this trade. Once I go to another trade, if it edges me the same way and then it goes to my TP, once it hits my TP area, that limit order is getting canceled. That's it. I would rather, at that point, I would rather just be flat on the day than have this happen again. So technically, this is not a losing trade. If this trade, me learning a valuable lesson like that from this trade saves me money down the road. Who knows the thousands of dollars that I could save down the road by, by this lesson that I learned from this trade. So I'm honestly hovering these accounts that I'm hovering right now around break even. I'm down $300 pretty much per, well, $300 per those. Look at this. Freaking A. Took me out and now it's gone right back down. Oh my gosh. Why are they saying now count? They're just trying to rage bait me, that's it. That's all they're doing is trying to rage bait me. This month has been hard for me, to be honest with you. I've been hovering around break even this whole month. I don't know why this month has been just difficult for me. I haven't been really getting the setups that I want. Some months are really good for me, and some months are like this, where I'm just like hovering around break even. Nice. I love it. I love it. Freaking takes me out. Takes me out and then goes directly back down. I didn't think it was going to go for those highs since it didn't take out those lows. I figured it was just going to rebalance to the middle of this range and then go for those lows again, but looks like it went for those highs. So, yeah, Man, that sucks. All right. I'm gonna hop off. There's nothing. There's nothing really here. There's nothing else for me to take. It is what it is. That's it for me for today. Look at the 15, it's a trend. Why not cut losses even if you had a stop loss, seeing that is trending against? Well, where I have my stop loss is where I have my stop loss. That's I'm the trader. Once I enter a trade, it's either hitting my take profit or hitting my stop loss, because I'm not the type of trader. The reason I took the trade was for a specific reason. I'm not going to sit there and try to analyze every single candle and try to predict, like, it doesn't really work. Because there's going to be times where you're going to take losses early or something, and then it would have ended up going to your TP. So once I enter a trade, that's it. I'm in the trade. There is no, like, I'm not the trader. It's just my strategy. I'm not the trader who's like, oh, break even, move your stop to break even or whatever. No, it is what it is. There's a reason I took the trade. So I'm accepting the risk. This is on a 1 minute chart. Divergence 5 in the 15. I mean, we could still hold the top of this range. I mean, we could still bounce here. We're literally we're pulling back to the top of this range, so right here. So we can hold that as support. Yeah, exactly. A trade doesn't need a babysitter. And some people, I guess, for their strategy, if your strategy calls you to take stops at break even, typically those people leave runners. But for me, I don't do it. So I accept the risk. If I didn't want to take the risk, I wouldn't have entered the trade. Bro, this is crazy. Literally, bro. Not only, what a hard day. Not only did it edge me and then go to my take profit, but I left a entry point. Then it took me out of my stop loss. It literally took me out of the stop loss, and now it's going all the way back down to my take TP. It edged me with my entry and then freaking stopped me out just to go back down to my TP. This is, honestly, this is what separates a good trader from a bad trader. These kind of moments happen to every single trader. It is a good lesson for everyone. These types of moments happen to every single trader. It will happen eventually to you. And the difference between, the main difference is, are you going to be the trader that revenge trades and gets pissed off that happens, so he or she ends up revenge trading, and then you take a loss again, and then you revenge trade even more, and then you end up blowing your account, all because you got super emotional? Or are you going to be the trader that accepts that these types of things happen? You accept it, and it's just part of the business, it's part of the game, and you walk away and you come back another day. Look at this thing. It's going right back. It stopped me out just to go right to my TP. So, but, right, you don't see me getting emotional and jumping back into a short. Even though, right, theoretically speaking, it could have stopped me out. I could have went back into a short here. I could have took a short position, and then I would have been up a crazy amount of money. But guess what? It's not my strategy. I don't take trades unless it's a strategy that I've back tested and I know is profitable. That's it. I don't take random trades in the market just because I see price going down. If I haven't back tested a strategy and I don't know it's profitable, I don't take the trade. The reason I take the trade, if any time you see me taking a trade, it's because I've back tested it and it works for me. So that's the reason I took it. So, oh gosh. Bro, it literally, I did not think this was going to happen. I thought we would retrace into the middle to go for that low, but it went for the high first before going for that low again. All you could do is laugh, bro. All you could do is laugh at something like this. Stopping you out just to go immediately in your favor and hit your TP. That's all you could do is just laugh. There's the TP. Alright, I'm gonna hop off. It's 11 o'clock, so that's it for today. Sucks that it should have been a winning day, but it wasn't. So kind of hurts a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, it does hurt a little bit, but it is what it is. It's part of trading. We move on. There's gonna be another trade coming, so there's gonna be another winning trade coming. This isn't the make or break of my trading career, right? Looking back, 4 months down the line, I won't even remember this trade. So it's just like it's just another day at the office. It's another trade. I will make it back. So another day's gonna come, another good trade. I'll make back this loss and move on, and we'll be up. So that being said, did you lose? Yes, I lost. But it should have been a winning trade. Again, it's my entry point. The major factor of this being a losing trade was because instead of having my entry point in the beginning of this tiny little gap here, instead of having my entry at the beginning of that gap, I had it right in the middle of that gap. I was like a point away. So it ended up hitting the beginning of that gap, going directly to my TP area. I would have taken profit, but I held my limit order, and then it ended up filling me and then stopping me out, and now going directly back down to my TP. So the idea was right, but my entry was just not the right. Next time, I'm putting my limit order in the beginning of the gap, not the middle of the freaking gap. It's going in the beginning. So there's 2 lessons I learned from this loss, right? First lesson, my entry, if it's a tiny gap like that, it's going in the beginning of the gap. Second lesson, if it edges you and hits my TP area where I initially would have taken profits, my limit order has to get canceled. Once it hits my TP, that limit order has to get canceled. So that's going to happen from now on out. So 2 lessons I learned from this loss, which is good. So technically, it's still good because I learned something. So, but yeah, that being said, I'm out. Peace out. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we get some decent price action. Today was good price action. I'm not gonna lie. It was, for my strategy, this was pretty good price action. So stay safe. Don't overtrade. If you get emotional, don't let your emotions dictate your trading. That's it. Other than that, peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.